Hello, everybody. Today is a recording of our last lesson. This lesson is an introduction to Arabic language. We are talking about the facts of Arabic language, some very important facts or tips about Arabic language before we go through the language. Okay, first of all, we need to take a look about Arabic language in numbers. How many people in the world speak Arabic language, how many countries. So this is a general information about Arabic language. First of all, Arabic is the first language of 310 million. This is an average. I'm not sure if it is exactly, but I think it's more than this because I took the number from Wikipedia. In 22 countries. So there are 22 countries which are speaking Arabic as a native language. Okay. Number two, Arabic is the second language of plus 132 million people in the world. Also, Arabic is the official language of 26 countries. So we have 22 countries as a native plus 4 that speak Arabic as a second language. Arabic also is sequenced as the 5th most spoken language in the world. I mean, as a first language. And also Arabic is a UN official language with English, French, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, and Arabic. Okay. So now we will take a look about the countries, Arabic countries that speak Arabic language as a first language. So we have around 20, or we have exactly 22 countries that speak Arabic as a first language. So wherever you go through these countries, you speak Arabic language. Okay. So if you study Arabic, so you will be able to communicate with 22 countries. Let's start here with Saudi Arabia, because when we say Arabic language, we directly think of Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia is the most or the biggest country, and also Arabic is originated from the Arabian Gulf, this area. So we have Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, Jordan. All of these countries speak Arabic as a first language. We have also Egypt, Lebanon, Palestine, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Mauritania, and Sudan. We have also here 2 countries, Djibouti and Somalia. Okay. So Arabic is spoken all over these countries, but with different dialects. I mean, a little bit different dialects or accent, but after all, it's Arabic and understood by anyone in these countries. Okay, the next point is this is a history and origin of Arabic language. Let's take a look about Arabic history. The origin of Arabic language or the family language is called the Semitic language or Afro-Asiatic family. So we have Arabic, Aramic, Hebrew, and Amharic. So these 4 languages, we can consider them as a sister languages, especially Hebrew, because it's Aramic is not existing now or existing but very few in the world. Only around 100,000 people speak Aramic now in the world, but Hebrew is still spoken and Arabic. So we can consider that Arabic and Hebrew are sister languages. When we say sister languages, we talk about we say like they share a lot of common vocabulary, a lot of common grammar, a lot of common sounds in between. Okay, so this is the same when we say, for example, Latin languages like French or Italian, Spanish, they share common vocabulary or sounds. So this is the vice versa. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the next point now. And this is also a table showing the history of Arabic during ages. So first of all, before when we know old Arabic, this is the old language that existed, or we knew that existed before 3,000 years. Um, then we have classical Arabic before 1,600 years or more. And now we have the modern standard Arabic, or what we call it right now, Fusha. Fusha. Okay. This is also Fusha, but this is more classical. I will tell you now the difference between these two. And also we have colloquial, or this is not a language, but this is slang. I mean, when we say colloquial, it means local accent or dialect of each country or city. Okay, because as you may know, that any language has a variation of accents. Let's say, for example, English. The London accent is not the same of Edinburgh accent, or Birmingham accent or York accent. So each city has its own accent. Okay, so this is what I mean here by colloquial. Okay, so now I will just compare classical Arabic and modern standard Arabic. Actually, this is the same language, but the classical Arabic is more literary. It has more um, vocabulary, more figures of speech. Let's say it's a little bit more complicated in terms of meanings and vocabulary, but it's understood by most of people. Okay, modern standard Arabic is the same of a classical Arabic, but it's more a little bit simple, more simpler, more less vocabulary. Okay, yes, and this is the language spoken nowadays in media, in magazines, the official language of most of the countries, uh, but not the spoken, because the spoken is that slang accent. Okay, so whenever you hear the news in any country, you will hear it in this. Okay, or an official or a speech or whatever, they speak in this accent. Okay, um, now um, now the question is, as a second language learner, which which Arabic accent you would like to learn? Which one? So this is a question that a lot of Arabic language learners ask this question. Which accent? We have Saudi accent, we have Syrian accent or Egyptian, and every accent is different from the other one in terms, I mean, for the learners of Arabic. But my advice or my recommendation is that first, as a learner of Arabic, you study standard Arabic or Fusha, the language we already talked about before. Why? Because it's the language spoken in media and everybody can understand, while the slang or the local accent in some countries, it's difficult to understand for some people. Okay, if they are speaking too fast. Okay, and also the standard Arabic is written in books, literature, newspaper, and it's the official language in all the Arabic countries. Also, standard Arabic has good or correct grammar, and the most important reason is that when you learn the standard Arabic, you will be able to learn any other slang, accent. So it is the bridge to colloquial. Okay. And also it is an academic language spoken in or taught in schools, in universities, okay, in books. Yes. Okay, now we will have a small quiz. So are you ready for a small quiz? about all the information that we just studied? Okay, let's go. How many countries speak Arabic as a native language? This is a question for you. Guess now. Okay, 22 countries. Excellent. Question number 2. What is the sequence of Arabic language as a native language in the world? Okay, the answer is the 5th. Question number 3. What is the population of Arabic native speakers in the world? The answer is 310 million. Okay. Now, we will have 7 facts about Arabic before we go through studying Arabic. Okay, this is my recommendation for anybody who wants to start learning Arabic. These facts and tips are very important to take it into consideration before you start studying Arabic. Number 1 is you should know that Arabic is a right to left language. When I say a right to left language, see, I am Mahmoud in English. So I'm starting from the left to right. But in Arabic, see, I am Mahmoud. I start from right to left. Okay? So this is Arabic. So Arabic, you start from the right side to the left side. Okay? So when Arabic is a right to left language, it means that the books, the binding of the books should be on the right, not on the left. So whenever you see the binding of a book is on the right, you know that this is a right to left language. Okay? Number 2. Cursive letters. So Arabic is a cursive letter language. So what we mean by this? We mean by this that Arabic has joint letters. So this is a text. As you can see in English, see, every letter is alone, but see as this, also every letter is alone. But if we write Arabic like this is surely wrong. We cannot write Arabic like this, separated letters. So we need to write Arabic like this, in a cursive letters, joint letters language. Okay, so this is the true way of writing Arabic. Okay. Number 3, Arabic has no capital letters. Okay, because we said that before that it is a cursive letters. Okay, so Arabic has 3 forms of the letter. So this is an isolated form of the letter. This is the isolated form. This is an initial form of the letter. Initial, it means that in the beginning of the word. Okay. This is in the middle, and this is in the end. Okay. So cursive or joint letters, we need to join every letter with a letter after it or before it. Okay, so this letter should be connected with this, and this should be connected with this, like this. So we are like just creating hands for every letter, and every letter is catching his beside letter. For example, see, this is just a picture. See, this is a letter, and this is an initial, and this is in the end letter. So we just, they catch each other like this. Okay, so this is any Arabic word like this. Okay, we need to connect them, join them like this. Okay, if you break them and write it isolated, so this is not acceptable. Okay, fact number 4 is that plural in Arabic starts +3. Okay, Maybe this is a little bit weird information, but I will explain it to you. Number one in Arabic is singular, okay? And number three is plural. Three or more is plural. But the question is, what about number two? What happens to number two? Okay, action number two is called in Arabic dual or muthanna. Muthanna in Arabic, and muthanna means dual. Okay. And what's the meaning of this? The meaning is that the dual has a special case. Okay, so it's a case like singular, like plural. There is another case called a dual. And what happens in this? So it's like singular and the plural they their own grammar. Also, the dual has its own grammar. So we have special two pronouns, personal pronouns for dual. And these two pronouns are you and they. So if I am addressing a speech or I'm speaking to two persons, number two of people, so I will use a specific you. And if I am talking about number two of they, let's say, for example, James and John, so I will use a specific they, different from the they of the plural, okay? Also, dual has its own conjugation. The conjugation of verbs and conjugation of nouns and also adjective. Okay, so whenever there is a noun, so the adjective should follow this noun, has a grammar that fits this case. Okay, so we will talk about this later in the coming lessons, but for now you should know that number two has its own case, like singular, like plural. So whenever you are talking about two things, number two of things or number two of people, don't use plural as in English or as in other languages. Okay, just remember that there is a special case for number two. Okay, let's continue now with a fifth fact about Arabic, which is two genders. Unlike English, English has no gender. There is no gender in English. Okay, but in other languages we have gender like French, Spanish, German, okay? But in Arabic, we have two genders. Okay, so what are these two genders? Number one is feminine, okay? So when I say number one, feminine, so any word in English, it could be feminine or masculine. So the sun is feminine, and also the chair is feminine, okay? The other gender is masculine. So the moon is masculine and the door is masculine. So we have two genders, one feminine and one masculine. Okay? So as I told you, any noun in Arabic, it should be either masculine or feminine. Okay? But the question is, what happens if we have two genders in Arabic language? Okay, I will tell you what happens. First of all, we will have a different pronoun. So we have he for masculine and she for feminine. When I say he, I don't mean by that a man or a woman, no. But when I say he, maybe I'm talking about the moon, or maybe I'm talking about the door, and she also I'm talking about the sun or the chair. So he and she is not the same as in English, because in English, when I say he or she or they, I talk about a human being. But in Arabic, no. When I say he, it could be any masculine, and she, any feminine. It's like also you for masculine, and we have you for feminine. And also we have they for masculine and they for feminine. It's a little bit strange, unlike English, but you in future you will be accustomed to this. Okay. Also, when we have two genders, it means we have different demonstratives. When I say demonstratives, I mean by that this and that. So we have this. If I want to say this girl, so this is different from this of this man, okay, or this moon, or this sun, okay. So we have this for masculine and this for feminine. We have that for masculine and that for feminine. We have those for masculine and those for feminine. Okay? So like this. And also plural is different. When I'm talking about masculine plural, so it's different from masculine feminine plural. Okay. And the last one is adjectives. Okay? So when I'm talking about when I want to say, for example, a beautiful moon, so the word beautiful is different from when I say a beautiful sun. Okay, in English, it's the same, but in Arabic, no. We should change or conjugate the adjective according to the gender of the noun. Okay? Okay. Yes, it's a little bit difficult for those who know English only, but for those who studied already German or French, they may be accustomed to two genders, like adjectives and in pronouns. But in Arabic, we have extra in plural. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. The next fact about Arabic is that no verb to be in Arabic. Okay, example, when I say in English, the house is big, okay, in Arabic, I just say the house big. There is no need, or actually the verb to be does not exist in Arabic, okay? Another example is I am Mahmoud. I am Mahmoud, just a question. I Mahmoud, just I Mahmoud, okay? Another one is, are you working? And in Arabic, we just say you working. And this is a fact, maybe when you speak to Arabic people, most of the Arabic people drop in English, they drop the verb to be. Okay, I mean, they don't want to do that, but because they accustomed to Arabic, we don't have verb to be, okay? That's why we Arabs sometimes when we speak or when we speak broken English, if our English is broken, so we drop the verb to be, okay? Yes. Now, the last one is we have three vowel sounds in Arabic. When I say three vowel sounds, here I'm not talking about vowel letters, I'm talking about vowel sounds. Okay, in Arabic we have three vowel letters, but I will just compare it to English. You may ask, what's the meaning of vowel sounds? I'll just give you an example. When you say in English, cup, the word cup. So here, see, if you check it in the dictionary, you will find it like this, cup, okay? So like this, cup. And if you check the word apple, 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 sorry for this, apple, you will find it like this, apple. This is called schwa, apple, like this. And there is here stress. Okay, so this is also a vowel. Maybe if you don't, if you didn't study linguistics or phonetics, you will not know this. But in English, we have more than 10 vowel sounds. Another example, when you say dot, D-O-T, dot. So this is also another vowel like this. We write it like this in the IPA, dot, like this, dot, dot. And also when you pronounce the word door, door, D-O-O-R, so it's also another vowel. We write it like this, like C, opposite C, and door. Okay, so this is also another vowel sound, and also etc. So in Arabic, in English, we have more than 10 vowel sounds, okay? But maybe this is a feature in Arabic language. We have only 3 vowel sounds. The first one is A, I'm now pronouncing. This is the letter that make this sound, A. The next one is U, oo, and this is the letter that makes this sound, oo, oo. And the next one is e, e, and this is the letter that make this sound. Okay, so the first one is a, u, e, a, u, e, a, u, e. That's it. We never have any other vowel sounds in Arabic. We don't have a like in English, like cup. We don't have, sorry, we have, this is the same. I mean, we don't have like apple, apple, schwa. We don't have o, like dot, pot, not. We don't have a, like set. Okay. So we just have a, u, e. Okay, but these vowels are long vowel, okay? But also we have short vowel from this. And this short vowel is not written. So the only written vowels are the long vowel. When we pronounce the vowel long, it means that this is written. But when we pronounce the vowel short vowel like a, u, e, so this vowel is not written. So what we do in order to pronounce this, we just replace the vowel with some symbols, and these symbols is either, this is a vowel ba, this is a letter ba, consonant ba. So we just put a slash. This slash is called fatha, and it makes the sound a, a. So this vowel is a, if it is written, but if it's not written, we just replace it with this. We just pronounce it as short vowel, only ba, ba. Okay? So if you write ba, this is ba, ba letter. If you write ba like this with alif, so I'll pronounce it ba, long, ba. So if I just write another one like this, so it is baba, baba. And this means babayam, like father, okay? Yeah, but if you just write like this, it's only ba, 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 okay? Yes. And what about u, short vowel u? We just put a small symbol, this one, over the letter ba. So it's now bu, bu. And b is like this, under the letter, the same of this, but below the letter. Okay, so this is ba, bu, bi. Short vowel. Ba, bu, bi. Okay? So you can say ba, bu, bi as long, or ba, bu, bi as short. Okay? Yes, so these are the vowels. Okay, we will study this later in the coming lessons, but now I'm just showing you that Arabic is easy in terms of vowels. So don't worry about the pronunciation. Okay, whenever you learn the alphabet and the letters and how to write them, how to read them properly. So Arabic is very easy in terms of pronunciation, okay? Because we have less vowels, unlike other languages that has a lot of vowels. And when a language has more vowels, it means that it has more difficult pronunciation, okay? Yes. So now also we have another quiz, and I'm sure that you will answer all of them correctly. Number one is, how many noun genders are there in Arabic? Okay, fantastic. So we have only two, feminine and masculine. Okay. Question two, mention vowels sounds in Arabic. How many vowel sounds in Arabic? Okay, excellent. So we have three vowel sounds in Arabic. A, U, E. Excellent. Number three, what does the change of gender in Arabic affect? So the answer is, it affects pronouns, adjectives, plural, demonstratives. Excellent. Question number four, Arabic is written right to left or left to right. Easy question. Yes, excellent. Right to left. Question number five. Mention some three facts about Arabic language. Okay, so we studied already 7 facts. You can review them. Okay, this is a repetition of the same question. Okay. Now, the last point for today's lesson is that what makes Arabic difficult language? You may hear that from people who are studying Arabic, that Arabic is difficult language. But why Arabic is considered as difficult language? Okay. Arabic actually is one of the richest languages out there in the world. But when I say richest, what's the meaning of that? What's the meaning of richest? I mean rich vocabulary. Okay. And the reason of the variation of uh, vocabulary in Arabic is what we call the root system. And the root system is a way of we have root for any words in Arabic, and we can just generate more words from these roots. Okay, so this is the meaning of root system. So in Arabic we have about 12 million words. Okay. So we have 80 words in Arabic for honey, 500 ways to say lion, 1,000 words in Arabic for camel and sword, 30 words for love. Yes, this is the reason actually why Arabic is a difficult language. Yes, and also Arabic is difficult in terms of conjugation. When I say conjugation, it means we have several cases for the several cases for conjugation, like nominative, accusative, or dative. Okay, and more we cannot mention now, so we can study them later on. And also Arabic is difficult in terms of the high eloquence. The high eloquence, it means that we have more figures of speech, more similes, more metaphors, So we have like this figures of speech that makes meanings difficult for people who are studying Arabic language. Okay, but don't worry. You don't have to, when you learn Arabic, you don't have to learn all the words, because even we Arabic native people, we need to go to back to dictionary in when we are reading a text, a literary text or a poem or whatever, because we sometimes we may across with some words that we don't know the meaning. So we need to check them in the dictionary. That this is very, very normal. Don't worry about that. In Arabic, when you learn Arabic, you can just learn the spoken vocabulary that we speak in our daily life. Okay, you don't have to learn more vocabulary related to literature or poetry or whatever. Okay, so I think this is I forgot to tell you that we already or I already mentioned that Arabic is an official language in the UN. So Arabic has a UN International Day, and it is on 18 December. Okay, this is everything for our lesson. I hope that you understood everything, and I'm ready to any question. You can just send me any question. Okay, next lesson, we will start talking about the alphabet. Okay, so thank you very much and goodbye.